The first time Ion ever touched a wrench, he was 5 years old, squatting beside his father's grease-covered boots in a dimly lit garage tucked away behind a row of old motorcycle shops. The garage smelled of oil, rust, and dreams that never got the chance to be realized. His father, Remat, was a gifted mechanic, known in their small town not for flashy advertisements or expensive tools, but for his uncanny ability to breathe life back into machines that others had given up on. He couldn't afford much, but what he lacked in tools, he made up for in heart and intuition. Ion grew up surrounded by engine noise and the scent of gasoline. He would come home from school, throw his backpack on the table, and run into the garage, eager to learn. Remat taught him patiently how to listen to an engine like it was telling a story, how to feel with his hands, how to think beyond manuals. Ion was a fast learner. Even as a teenager, he was better than most mechanics in the city, but he rarely spoke of it. He was quiet, humble, and deeply respectful of his father's hard work. Remat often said, "Beta, one day someone will bring you something broken that no one else could fix. That will be your moment. That's when you'll show them who you are." That moment came sooner than expected. It was a stormy afternoon when the garage's metal shutter clattered open, revealing a matte black trailer slowly backing in. Rain poured onto the oil-stained floor as four men carefully rolled out the most beautiful wreck Ion had ever seen, a Pagani Huayra, mangled from a high-speed crash. The hood was torn open, carbon fiber panel shattered, the front suspension twisted like melted plastic. The car looked dead. The driver stepped forward, a bald man with a Bluetooth headset and a clipboard. "Remat Ustad?" he asked. Remat nodded, eyeing the wreck. "That's not a job, it's a graveyard. I was told you're the only one crazy enough to look at it. The owner, Mr. Rahil Zaman, wants to know if you can restore it." Ion stared at the car. "This car? It's worth more than our entire street," the man laughed. "Exactly, that's why only the brave or the foolish would touch it." Remat ran his hands over the shattered body. "It's beyond my hands now," he whispered. Then, turning to Ion, he said softly, "But maybe not beyond his." The men in the garage scoffed. "A kid? That's funny." But Remat wasn't joking. He looked at his son and said, "You've been ready, Beta." "This is it," Ion hesitated. Every rational part of him wanted to back away. This was no Toyota or Civic, it was a Pagani Huayra, a hypercar handmade in Italy, a machine of precision, complexity, and luxury. One wrong wire, one misaligned bolt, and the entire car would be useless. But deeper inside him, beyond the fear, was a fire. He nodded. "I'll do it." Word spread like wildfire. The boy in the alley garage had been handed a wrecked Pagani. Some laughed, some waited for him to fail. But Ion didn't care. He shut the doors, unplugged the garage from the outside world, and got to work. Days turned into nights. Weeks passed. He studied every inch of the car, reverse-engineered its systems, and built parts from scratch using junkyard scraps. He couldn't afford real Pagani components, so he machined replacements by hand. He downloaded blueprints, sketched modifications, and taught himself Italian wiring systems. When he couldn't find tools, he built them. When a part was beyond repair, he fabricated a better one. His father watched in silence, pride swelling in his tired eyes. Ion wasn't just fixing the car, he was connecting with it. He learned to listen to the tiny creaks, to feel the resistance in the gears, to read the scars in its frame like pages of a story. He poured every ounce of passion into it, sometimes going 2 days without sleep, refusing to stop until it responded. One night, as he tightened the last bolt on the front differential, Remat brought him a cup of chai. Ion looked up, oil on. His cheek, hands blackened from months of work. "It's alive," he whispered. Remat smiled. "Then so are you." The final test was terrifying. They didn't have a racetrack or a test facility. Just a long stretch of abandoned highway outside the city. Remat sat beside his son in the driver's seat, silent, tense. Ion turned the key. For a moment, nothing, then with a low growl that turned into a fierce roar, the engine came alive. Not just alive, but hungry, reborn, ferocious. Ion shifted into gear. The Huayra leapt forward like it had been set free from chains. It handled perfectly. Every control was tight. Every movement precise. They drove for hours, pushing it to its limits. Not once did it falter. Back at the garage, the trailer returned, this time to pick up a masterpiece. The same bald man stepped out, mouth open in disbelief. This can't be the same car. It is, Ayan said quietly. The owner himself arrived, Rahil Zayman, a billionaire collector known for being brutally critical. He walked around the car slowly, his fingers brushing over the glossy bodywork. The flawless panel alignment, the hand-stitched leather reupholstered by Ayan himself. Who did this? Rahil asked Awaya and stepped forward, heart pounding. You? Rahil raised an eyebrow. You rebuilt my Huayra? Ayan nodded. Silence. Then Rahil said, Get in. Ayan hesitated. Rahil repeated, Drive me. They took off down the highway, Rahil watching every movement. After a long stretch of silence, Rahil asked, Why did you take the risk? Ayan replied, Because my father believed in me, and I couldn't let him be wrong. When they returned, Rahil stepped out of the car, looked at Ramat, then at Ayan. Then he did something no one expected. He bowed slightly. I've had this car in the hands of the best garages in Europe, but I've never felt it like this. This feels like it has a soul. Then he turned to Ayan. You're not just a mechanic, you're an artist. And your father, he's your greatest mentor. He pulled out a business card and handed it to Ayan. Come work for me. Name your salary. You deserve to be known. Ayan looked at the card, then at his father. Then he shook his head. I appreciate it, sir. But I have everything I need. Right here. Ramat blinked rapidly, his chest rising with pride. The story made headlines. Mechanic's son rebuilds crashed Pagani owner calls it better than original. Car magazines featured him. Videos of the rebuilt Huayra on YouTube reached millions, but Ayan stayed in the same garage. He opened a small school behind it to teach underprivileged kids automotive engineering. He named it the Huayra Workshop. Years passed. The garage expanded. Ayan became a name in the world of custom engineering. But he never left the roots of who he was, because once, a broken car came to a broken neighborhood, and a quiet boy believed it could live again. In doing so, he rebuilt more than a car. He rebuilt dreams. Moral: never judge someone by their tools, their location, or their silence. True brilliance doesn't need a stage, it only needs belief. Sometimes, the greatest masterpieces are built in forgotten corners by those the world overlooks, until they can no longer be ignored.